Hello, everyone. Welcome to Bronco Health Talk, here, the official podcast of the College of Health Sciences, where we try to focus on all things health sciences and healthcare and have conversations with a variety of guests. Typically, we like to have faculty from the college here on the show, as well as deans and leadership in the college, which is who we'll have today, and maybe other guests from the community. This is Derek here, the marketing promotions manager for the college, and joining me as co-host is our student media employee, Sam Butler.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Sam. And Sam is in his third year here at the university and in the college as a health studies major. So our guest on the show today that we're really excited about is our new associate deans. We have Dr. Oaklee Rogers, who is one of our new associate deans, and then we have a new associate dean of research, Dr. Michael Christopher. So thank you both for being with us on the show. And we just want to spend some time getting to know you today, and then as well as maybe see if we can just talk and discuss a little bit about maybe an issue that we see in higher ed and how we're maybe seeking to pursue some solutions when it comes to that issue. So let's just start out. Can you tell us a little bit about your specific role as an associate dean and what you're most excited about?
Well, thanks so much for having us. We're very excited. I'm very excited to be here, and I'm sure Mike is as well. So my name is Oaklee Rogers, one of the new associate deans. I've got a large scope that I'm working with, which is very exciting, and it's continuing to evolve. But I will be working with our community and clinical partnerships. So all of our students, or the majority of our students, will have to complete some kind of an internship or clinical rotation in order to graduate. So I'm working with our staff and our faculty and those students to help them be successful throughout that rotation and making sure we've got our contracts in place. I will also be working with our marketing and communications team, so excited to be here with you and be a part of that team. I also have an opportunity to work with our students where maybe there is a grievance or there is something that they're not necessarily in agreement with, so I like to think of that as student opportunities. And then also helping with some of our accreditation as well. All of our programs have a large work to be done to focus on accreditation, and so making sure that they're successful and helping the college navigate that.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Derek and Sam. So as you noted, I'm the Associate Dean for Research. So my scope's a little bit more narrow than Oaklee's, so I'm really focused on all things research. It's an exciting time here at Boise State, as you all know, as we're seeking R1 university. So this is a classification system that Carnegie puts out. We're currently in R2, and we're moving towards R1, which is an intensive research environment. So for me, my goal really within the College of Health Sciences is to help support faculty who are already doing wonderful things. We're securing federal grants, we're writing tons of papers, we're presenting at international conferences, and my goal as the first full-time person in this position is to really help support that as much as I can.
What drew you here? Why Boise State?
Yeah, thanks for the question. It's
Yeah.
a great one. So as I joke around, when I first came for the interview back in March, that was the first time I've ever been to Idaho, other than passing through on my way to Glacier. But I had done my homework, and I was really excited about just so many things at this university. I think one is just the growth overall at this university, and then two, really specifically in terms of research. There's such a thriving research infrastructure here, particularly relative to my previous institution, which is a small private school. And so just when I again did my homework and then came to visit, just to see the amount of resources in place already to help support researchers thrive, to me was so exciting. And for me, at this stage of my career, I've had a history of running an NIH-funded lab for the past 20 years, and really the thing that excites me most now is really just helping support other researchers, junior researchers, PhD students. And again, I think it's just such a wonderful opportunity to do that here at Boise State.
So why Boise State? Well, I'm from Boise. Although I didn't go here to Boise State, I've always been very engaged within the Boise State community, whether it's athletics or when I was younger, going to camps here. And so Boise State has always had a fond place in my heart, and also with my family. throughout the past 13 years, I've been in Phoenix, Arizona, and recently I've had my eye on Boise State and also the college, because the work that is being done here to produce future health professionals has been remarkable. So I've had my eye on it for a while just to see what's happening. And then more recently, I've really admired and looked up towards the leadership here within the college and at the university. There's a lot of momentum happening here at BSU, and the fact that Boise State is growing in enrollment and is still able to advance its mission is very desirable at this time in higher education. So being able to come back home and supporting an institution that I share similar values with and know is working to help promote health and wellness throughout the community and throughout the state was really attractive to me.
That's good. Well, it's really great to have you both here, as part of the college and doing what you're doing. I was just thinking there's just an incredible amount of work to be done, both, I think, on an administrative level, Oaklee, with the College of Health Sciences becoming, growing so much in student enrollment and population, and then even just this fall semester becoming the largest college on campus in terms of student population for the first time. But as well, Mike, your work here and how important that is for us to continue to pursue that R1 status as a university is going to be really good. Thank you for just kind of sharing a little bit about your positions and what you're focusing on and your background. I wanted to ask too is, in your particular sphere of work, what are current issues that you see are affecting higher education, and then maybe how you might see yourself addressing one of those issues at Boise State? What would you say?
So, talking about, there's always a lot of issues that we have to navigate. And so I think in particular to what I'm doing is focusing on our community and clinical partnerships. And as I had mentioned, our students, the majority of our students, have to complete some kind of clinical rotation to be able to graduate and then pursue their professional journey. And so area that's of concern is just the limited number of clinical placements of where we can put our students. Just because there are so many students that we are now enrolling, and there's a limitation in how many our healthcare facilities can accommodate. Not only here at BSU are we, having to place students in clinical rotations, but also other institutions and higher education as well. So a lot of the institutions are understaffed, or they're not able to accommodate students, or there are too many students to be able to place. And so we've got this really difficult navigation of we need more healthcare providers, but without having more clinical rotations to place those students to train them, we're not going to be able to meet that need. And so it's a matter of how can we think maybe differently, or how can we really navigate those partnerships to make sure that our students have placements, not only here within the Treasure Valley, but also obviously in rural and underserved communities where they're even more at dire need of having those future healthcare providers. And so that's probably one of the biggest areas of concern that we are seeing. And so how am I going to help navigate that? I think it's a matter of working with our partners to find a win-win. How can we support our clinical and community partners to be able to support our students? Are there ways that maybe we can think creatively to where they could accommodate additional students throughout the year? Is there an opportunity for our students to be placed at some of our clinical sites with then them being able to sign on as a future employee? So I think really working with our community partners to find that beneficial partnership for them and for us is going to be critical.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting. That's helpful to hear. And Mike, I want to get to you in a second, but just maybe to dovetail off that a little bit, Oaklee, we've heard for a while about the nursing shortage nationwide as well as here in state in Idaho. Would you say that it sounds like there seems to be a clinical shortage almost? A context and an environment, a shortage of that, because if we're going to continue to try to meet the demand of nurses or any other healthcare professionals, we definitely need those clinical context for them to be adequately trained. Would you say that's the case, that there seems to be a shortage of that too?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. And it's a challenge because if we don't have enough clinical placements, then we can't, have the students go there, or maybe we have to have a smaller cohort size to be able to then be placed, because obviously we want our students to be successful when they enroll, complete their clinical rotations in a timely manner, and then graduate. So it's challenging when we don't have enough providers to supervise the students or enough placements. So yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's great that you're in your role that you are, so you can really work on that.
Yep.
Mike, how would you respond to this?
Yeah, I appreciate the question. I think from my particular sphere of work, I think probably the biggest challenge right now, or the issue that we faced, is potential cuts to federal research funding dollars. We've always historically benefited from a nice, generous sort of funding for things like NIH, DoD, Department of Ed sort of funding, and as you all know, there's some proposed cuts to those various streams of money on the table. It does make it a bit challenging, I think, particularly in the health sciences, because as a field, we're on the verge of coming up with things like cures for cancer, and we do, as a field, we do great work with veterans that has been funded historically, looking at treatments, effective treatments for things like PTSD, alcohol, substance misuse, and so the hope is that maybe those cuts won't be as draconian as being proposed. I think for me, in my new role here, in what I can do is I'm excited to just sort of take an all above the board strategy in terms of just really having a diverse portfolio of research grants to which we're applying. So in addition to those federal dollars, looking for foundation grants, looking for institutional grants, looking for state grants. Again, we've got a wonderful legacy in the college of getting diverse funds of research, of dollars to support the various research endeavors of faculty here in the college. And my hope is to continue to be able to do that. So hopefully that'll continue.
That's great. So it sounds like, too, what you're saying is because of the federal cuts, it's going to be that much more, I guess, priority to look for those private funds and those private, grants.
Yeah, a bit of both. I think again, though, as I'm telling junior faculty who I'm encouraging, working with closely to write federal grants, is even though there's going to potentially be less money, they still have to give it to somebody. So why not us?
Right.
So I think there are, unfortunately, full labs at other universities that rely more on federal dollars who will be struggling, or people who have left to go back to the private workforce. Mm-hmm. And so, although there might be fewer overall dollars, the competition for those dollars may actually not be that much less. So again, it's both a sort of an anxiety-provoking time, but an exciting time. Yeah. And I think, again, being in this role full-time, which is exciting, is I want to position our faculty to be in the best possible position they can to secure those federal dollars. So, again, all of the above sort of a strategy for securing those research dollars.
That's great. Yeah, that's good to hear. And so glad for your role and what you're doing towards that. So
thank you.
Yeah.
What's one thing you're excited about? Not necessarily this year, but and it doesn't even have to be, specifically in your scope, but now that you're here, something you're looking forward to.
Hate to keep going back to research, but given that that's what I'm here for, I'm going to stick with that. I think I'm really most excited about this phase as we're transitioning to an R1 Carnegie classification. Again, having come from a smaller school, I've just been really blown away by the depth of resources here available to support faculty. And being able to be that liaison with the College of Health Sciences and really help get our folks linked up with some of these wonderful resources, I think, as well as the growth in PhD programs here at the university and within College of Health Sciences, we have an exciting program that we're sort of working on. I think the opportunity for additional PhD programs, graduate students, more funding for faculty and research, and eventually achieving that R1 classification. That's, as I said, really one of the big things that brought me here, and the thing that makes me exciting literally every day I wake up, get out of bed, and head into work, is that I'm excited to take part in this process.
Do you have a favorite research lab that you're most interested in here?
Ooh, I don't want to pick favorites. That's tough. They're all really exciting.
Or just not necessarily, a favorite, but one that's the most interesting.
Yeah. Everyone's doing a lot of great work, but I will say the Human Performance Lab from the School of Kinesiology, I think just because I walk past it every day on my way to go up to my office, but they are really doing just some cutting-edge, exciting stuff. And I know they've got a couple of brand new faculty who have come in, who again have that history of bringing in federal dollars for their research. So I'm just so excited to see, it's an area which I have an interest as well as human performance, that the work that they're doing and looking with an eye towards the future of the cutting edge research that they'll continue to do.
It's great.
Yeah.
I was going to say too, prior to this role, I was in the School of Nursing, doing a similar role, and I had a chance to attend the Western Institute of Nursing conference in actually Portland 1 year, and that's usually a conference for nurse practitioners or nursing faculty, have PhDs, whatever. It's a high research conference, just high research quality, and we actually had, it seemed like half a dozen of our bachelor's degree nursing students that hadn't even graduated yet, producing research, bringing their posters, presenting them there alongside a lot of other good research. And I was impressed and I was kind of blown away that I think we're seeing a high caliber of research, especially in our School of Nursing.
Yeah.
And that just continues to show that, and I'll say this not just because I work here, but that we do have the top nursing program in the state.
Yeah.
And that's not just student enrollment, that's not just with the clinicals and everything, but also with the research quality we have. So it's really cool to see that,
Absolutely.
at least with the nursing program. So, Dr. Rogers or Oaklee, what would you say to that? What's one thing that you're, I guess, most excited about?
So there's a lot to be excited about right now. And I think there's so many great opportunities with us being now the largest college here at Boise State University is very exciting. And there's real opportunity for us to leverage that growth and thinking about how can we continue to improve what it is that we're doing. I just recently had a conversation with one of our divisional deans and thinking, how could we offer a program that maybe isn't the traditional approach? And so I think there's ways to be innovative as we continue to deliver these different degrees, and not necessarily that traditional face-to-face, which is very important, but also we need to meet students where they're at. And if they're not able to be here on campus, okay, well then how can we still help them to accomplish their goals in different ways? So I think what I'm excited about is the opportunity to continue to think differently, to continue to advance our mission, continue to hopefully help meet the needs of the healthcare workforce, which obviously helps our overall health and wellness throughout Idaho.
Right.
Also for us to be able to work together. So thinking of it, we don't necessarily have to be siloed within our own professions, but how could we work with nursing and School of Kinesiology, respiratory care? Maybe are there programs that we can help to have some overlap in, so that way we're not having to duplicate efforts. So that's a lot. I'm very excited that there's so many just opportunities. I guess in a nutshell, there are so many different opportunities that we have going ahead. So it's an exciting time.
It is. It's exciting. Yeah, it's really exciting to have you both here as part of this. Here's kind of a final question. It's probably an easy one, but we'll see. Being new to Boise for you, Mike, or returning again to Boise, Oaklee, what would you say is your favorite restaurant so far?
So I had to think a lot about this because there's a lot of great options. But something that I had thought about, and I keep thinking, well, where do we continue to go back to? And it's the Matador, which I love Mexican food, and it's just really good quality. I know there's one downtown, and then there's also one in Meridian. But even before we left, or when we would come back to visit, it seems like we would often go there. And just a few weeks ago, their steak and mango tacos are amazing. So shout out to the Matador.
We were talking about the Matador while you were walking.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right before you got
we were
here.
telling Mike
Okay.
about it.
Yeah. 3 cheers for their happy hour.
Yes,
It's a good
yes,
happy
for
hour.
sure. Yep.
So, Mike, what about you?
Well, being relatively new, I've hit a few restaurants. I haven't explored as much as I hope to try a bit more. Coming from Portland, which is known for its food scene, I will say I have absolutely fallen in love with the restaurants here though in Boise. It's such a thriving, great food scene. There's just so many different wonderful places to choose from. If I had to narrow it down to one, I'd say Percy at this point. I really like their food. I like their sort of local farm-to-table type thing. I like their open kitchen. I love it. But I will say Matador is definitely next on my list. I haven't been there yet, so I will definitely check it out.
That's great. Percy is a great place, and I've been there a couple of times. I've enjoyed it. I don't know, Sam, have you been to Percy yet?
Yes.
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 Yeah. It's
Once.
it's a good spot. It's a
Yeah.
good spot. So, well, thank you both for this. This is really kind of you to join us. We're so thankful to have you on our team here in the college and doing the work that you're doing. And it's been enjoyable to have this conversation with you. And thanks everyone for listening in to Bronco Health Talk. We'll see you next time.